Welcome back to Outdoor Chef Life. In the last episode, we went tuna fishing out of San Diego, and it was an overnight trip. Had an epic time. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out first. But here it is, right here, our bluefin tuna. Some of you might think that this is a yellow fin tuna because they do have some yellow in the fins. The deckhands are telling us the blue fins have a smaller pectoral fin, and if you bend it towards the eye, the yellow fin will reach the eye, the blue fin will not. As well as the anal fin, on a blue fin, it's a bit white, and then on a yellow fin, it's going to be yellow. So those are kind of the two telltale signs which species you know of tuna it is, because they do look very, very similar. Brand new aprons, new color. We got this nice blue ones, ocean blue. That's what we'll call the color. Available on OutdoorChefLife.com. All right. And we got knife bags available on OutdoorChefLife.com as well. I need a couple knives for this job. Let's get to finding this bluefin tuna. First thing I'm gonna do, take the head off. And I'm using my deba for this. The deba is really nice and thick, thick backbone, and it gets through the bones that, these big bones that I need to get through. And tuna have these scales on the back, on the top side, really hard to get through. So I'm gonna just cut it off with my deba. Just gonna slice it off. This is called skibiki. It's a Japanese scaling technique. And I'm just gonna do it to where I'm going to be running my knife. Otherwise, knife's gonna dull really quickly and it's really hard to get through. That was the gaff shot right here, I think. And then I'm going to cut the collar off, and on this part right here as well. It's really hard. So I'm going to scale this off right here as I cut the collar off. All the way to that pectoral fin, and then I'll cut down this way, and then I'll cut back this way. So I get these fins off at the same time. There's the collar off. I'll just separate it into two separate collars. There you go. Bang. Collars are off. And these are delicious grilled. A lot of meat on there. Okay, now we're gonna start doing the actual filleting, and you can take either side off. We'll do a gomai oroshi, which is a 5-piece breakdown, and we're gonna basically quarter the fish. Take the top loin off, we'll take the bottom loin off, and then do the same to the other side. All right. Ready? There it is. So this one got gaff right in the middle, but most of it's pretty good. All right, now we got the first piece off, and I'll take this belly half off. For some reason, the skin on the belly side is so much thinner on tuna. There you go. We got the belly side off. You can see the old turtle on this side. Even though it's a small tuna, it's got some nice fatty content in that belly. All right, on this back side, instead of turning around, I'm gonna do it just like this. Positioned the same way. A lot of times, tuna is gonna be too big for you to be moving around. Even this one, we could flip it, but we'll try it from this side. So I'll show you that. Gonna cut in from the bottom, just like I would if I was going from with the fish flipped. All the way to the center bone. Kind of this time, filling the bones on top. It's a little bit trickier. Instead of putting pressure downwards, you gotta put some pressure upwards. And if you do it right, you should be able to kind of see through and see your knife kind of scraping the bones. And on this side, we're just going to lift this entire, the bones up, and just cut along right here as we go. And a lot of it I've already cut, so I can just lift that off. And there you go. And we got the carcass off, and there's still definitely meat left on the carcass. Always on a tuna, you're gonna get some meat left on there between those bones. So we're gonna save this and scrape this. But for now, let's finish this fillet up here. Now we'll quarter the tuna. So this is the center here, but there's bones right in the center, just like pin bones. So I'm gonna go just right on the belly side and then go all the way down to the tail. There you go. So that comes off. This belly piece is good. Now with the top loin, I'll scrape this part off. Not scrape, but slice it off. All right, I'm gonna cut this into 3 sections here. And I do right there, about a shaka width. So we'll go right there. That's 1, 2, and 3. And this tail bit is going to be kind of really chewy for sushi and such, so we'll end up kind of cutting it off a little bit shorter. But with this, if you look closely at this piece, you can see that there's this dark red piece right here, sort of the bloodline we call it. And we're going to cut that portion out. And to do that, we don't really want to cut off too much, but we just want to try to take off as little meat as possible. And just cut that out. There you go. Yeah, you just kind of want to scoop it out. Okay, now the next thing you want to look at on old tunas, they kind of have this really perfect piece that's this triangle here. Right here is really chewy. This tendon, or this is called sinew. It's connective tissue. It goes right down to here. A lot of sinew that just kind of runs right here in this little general area. So what I do is cut just above that. I'm gonna cut it down, cut it off right there. Ready? Okay, now we sort of have this perfect piece right here that we can use for sushi, sashimi, and with very minimal sinew. Because with the sinew, it's going to be super chewy, this section. That's why we kind of want to stay away from that if we're making sashimi. And for this, I'm going to scrape this piece, and we're going to get a lot of like too spicy tuna sort of piece right here with this. But here, this beautiful bluefin sashimi. You can kind of see how the higher you are, the darker red it gets, and this lower part is almost a little pale. That's due to the fat content. So if you look at just what you can see now, that would be considered chutoro, medium fatty tuna. It's kind of half fatty, half lean. And if you take just the upper half, that would be akami, which is just a lean red meat with less fat. Now I'm going to take the skin off. And this piece, like I said, we're most likely going to be just scraping it for spiced tuna. And we'll do the same thing with this piece right here. First, take the bloodline out. And then, there you go, and we'll cut off this perfect loin. This is really fatty. You can see how oily it is. I can just feel it in my hand. It's just so slimy because it's all that fat. And this one with the tail, like I said, I'm going to probably cut off this half of it. And we'll do the same thing. And this tail piece, we'll just scrape that whole thing. Too much sinew, too chewy for any kind of sushi or sashimi. Okay, now let's move on to the belly section. Belly section, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. So I have this beautiful otoro right here. Very, very fatty. First thing I'm going to do, I'll just cut this off right here, just this belly section. And that right there is just the otoro piece. You can see the beautiful fat content on this side. Towards the collar is the fattiest of them all. Okay. Now I've left kind of this little bit of this rib cage on here, so I'll just cut that off. Okay, now we'll do the same thing, cutting it into 3 sections. Right there. Cut the bloodline out again. Just trying to follow that bloodline, scooping it out. And then same thing again, here and down. Perfect pieces there. All right, we'll actually try this triangular piece that I said I was gonna just scrape off. We'll try it with this smaller size tuna. I've never tried a bluefin of this size, so I'll just make a little sashimi slice and see if it's too chewy or if it's gonna be good. You know what? A little bit chewy, a little bit of that sinew in there, but I think I'm just gonna keep it like this. It's got nice fat content. It's like a little chutoro, and it's good, really good. All right, so now we've done one side of the fish, and we're just gonna do the same exact thing to the other side. Now I'll scrape these guys right here. I want to scrape it in a way that I kind of leave this sinew behind, this connective tissue. This part is really chewy and it's sort of unpleasant to eat. So This is the kind of prep in sushi restaurants that's really tiring because it's not just a little bit. When we do a bluefin tuna in a restaurant, it's massive. It's a ton, like pounds and pounds of this stuff. So you just look down for a few hours, maybe more, just scraping tuna, making sure we get, you know, majority of the sinew out. Because imagine biting into that. Not pleasant, but imagine biting into this. So pleasant. It's definitely like restaurant work is, a lot of it is just stuff like this. A lot of prep, and it's not very glamorous, but it's got to get done. It's got to get done. Yeah, this was my life. This was my life before outdoor chef life. Just scraping tuna. After the scraping, we're going to chop it up. Because there are a little bit of sinew left in here, it's not 100% gone. So the rest of it, we're just going to finely mince. Okay, so I fillet both fish and it's ready to vacuum seal. And I have here, this is called maguro paper. Just like a nice high quality paper towel basically. That's, we usually use it to wrap the tuna in. And it's supposed to have these magic properties that'll keep the tuna fresher longer. So I'll use that, and I just got some from old chef friend of mine that I used to work with, Master. Shout out to you. Thanks for grabbing me this. And we'll wrap it up and vacuum seal it. And I should remember which one's what so I can label what's what. Most of this is lean anyways. It's like, there's like a little bit of fat on it, but not a huge difference. Like this one, this one's akami. Yeah, you could probably find this this product, this maguro paper, which just means tuna paper. And like fish suppliers, like restaurant fish suppliers. I'll see if I can find it online and just post it in the description. Check this out, we have, look at that. That's a ton of toro right there. This is what we call toro. It's just a mix of everything. So there's a lot of fatty parts to it too. And you can do spiced tuna, but we actually at the restaurants we mainly do like a mix of takuan, which is the pickled daikon, little green onion, soy sauce, mix it together, make some gunkan or hand rolls, and it's very, very delicious. And the way we keep this in the freezer, take some parchment paper, and we'll dump a handful in here, and just fold that over, and then we just keep it like that. Usually freeze it on a sheet tray like this, and that'll be good. I'll probably vacuum seal it because I don't think my freezer's cold enough to keep it fresh. It's not like the restaurant grade one, you know. Yeah. Now I'm gonna make some tuna donburi. It's so easy to make, anybody can do it. First off, we gotta make some rice. So let's get started with that. Alright, we got the rice going. And in this pot, I have something else that I've started. Take a look at that. That is the head and the spine of the tuna that's in there. And I have something else planned for that one. But for now, let's just focus on the rice and the donburi. I've been really liking these hex-clad pots and pans. They've especially been good for cooking my rice. They have a really thick bottom which conducts heat very evenly and very well even on these induction burners. If you're interested in learning more, check out the link in the description. I have a page on hex-clad and you'll get a discount through that link as well. Okay, my rice should be done, but before I turn the heat off, a little something I do right before for the last about 10-15 seconds, I just blast the heat on it. About 15 seconds. It'll kind of give me an idea how much liquid is left in there, and it kind of looks like there's a good amount of steam coming out, but it should be good. And right when you turn it off, instead of opening it, mixing it up, leave it there for about 10 minutes. There it is. It looks beautiful. I have this vinegar sushi powder today, so I'll just use this, and I just add to taste. Something around there should be good. Mix it up. And I'll just give it a taste. Alright, that tastes good to me. Nothing complicated about making some rice and adding some powder. Oh, I also have the collars that I'm going to grill as well. Just going to do a simple grilled tuna collar. Okay, here we have a little piece of chew turtle. You can tell it's chew turtle. One side is a bit lighter and the other side is nice dark red. So it's like a medium fatty. But actually this block is a little too big. So I'm going to cut it straight in half. Right about there. There we go. Now we actually have akami. This is right here. So this is just the lean meat, which we refer to as akami. Just means red meat. So, and then we also have this one. This is still chew turtle because it's got some half fatty content there. And I'll just trim off some of this little bit of blood here. First I'll slice the akami. This is a perfect little block, so I can almost just kind of slice it straight down. I'm going a little slight angle to just make it a little bit wider. I can tell it's so tender. In this part here, it's really important to have a sharp knife, as sharp as you can get it. And my yanagi that I'm using, this is called yanagi or yanagiba. And it's a single bevel knife, which means that it has a bevel only on one side. So this right side, and then this back side is actually flat. It looks flat, but it's actually concave. If you're right-handed, you'll use the light knife with the bevel on the right-hand side. If you're left-handed, it would be the opposite. So this kind of matters if you're righty or lefty, and which knife you use. This last piece. Super tender, delicious. Now I'll do the same thing with the chew turtle piece. This time I'll cut it from this end. So you can do it either or. This one, I'll cut it straight down. Oh, I almost forgot to mention that we stopped by World Market on the way and picked up our kelp chili crisp. Why? Because now every World Market in the US is carrying our kelp chili crisp with Barnacle Foods. How exciting is that? So now you can go to your local World Market and go pick some up. Woo! Stoked. Thank you guys for your support. Couldn't have made it there without you guys, so keep eating it. It's so addicting. I have here some shichimi togarashi. This is a Japanese 7 spice. It's just like peppers and stuff, so just gotta season the bluefin collar with it generously. Don't forget down here, that right there is the most fattiest part. Alright, I think that's ready for the grill. Here is my toro. I'll just scoop it all into a bowl. green onion. I need to sharpen this knife. I took it to New Zealand, haven't sharpened it since the whole entire time I was there, so I can tell it's super dull. If I can't slice green onion thin as a piece of paper, knife's too dull. Green onion into the Toro. A little bit of soy sauce. That's delicious. Man, this smells like yakitori. Smells so good already. Just started it, and I'm fanning the heat just to, get it a little hotter. I didn't put too many charcoal in there. You see when the fat drips, it creates smoke and it just adds flavor to the collars or whatever you're cooking. Like if you're making yakitori, it just gives it that amazing smokiness. I'm gonna take a look here. Looking pretty good. Ooh, that looks great. So juicy. And I'll top it with a little bit of aonori. Right, now let's plate our bowl. First I have a little bit of shiso here. And then I'll start layering the fish. Okay, I got a farmer's market egg here. Just gonna top the egg yolk, raw egg yolk right on top. Oh, yes. And a little shimi, just to top it off. And of course, I gotta add a little bit of chili crisp in there. Oh yeah, come on, look at that. That is killer. Alright guys, here we have it. A bluefin tuna donburi with akami, chutoro, and toro. I also have some yuzu kosho, which you can use for the collars. I think it would go very delicious with the collar. Oh, you want some wasabi? I got wasabi too.
Oh, I do want wasabi.
Itadakimasu.
Itadakimasu.
Oh. Beer.
Fine, I'll eat rice.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Oh, that's good beer. Collar first. Let's try that out. It was so juicy. Kosho. Oh. So soft. Okay, let's go in to my donburi. And just mix it up. Go to town on it.
Good rice, good rice.
Mmm.
And chili crisp. We're meant to go with tuna.
That's right. Take a look at this. Ah, just such freshness. Ooh, tender, creamy, delicious. And just get extra creamy from the egg yolk. The toro itself is so fatty. and delicious. Nice bite from the onions, and you get a crunch from the chili crisp and a bit of spice. That's a perfect bowl. You're drinking my beer.
It's really good. I don't usually like IPAs, but
My beer.
it's really cool seeing the kelp chili crisp right next to the ryu. 'Cause
Oh,
we used
yeah.
to use the ryu in recipes, and now we use our own chili crisp, and now the chili crisp is right there next
Right
to
next
the
to the
ryu.
ryu. Yeah, the ryu is actually like the inspiration for making the kelp chili crisp. Cause I love that stuff. I was addicted to it. Because I want to make my own, but better, a little bit spicier than that, the ryu. And that's what we made. And we incorporated kelp, which gives it a nice brininess and a good crunch as well. So I think it's the perfect product. If you haven't tried it, make sure to get it, try it, World Market. It's available now. And if there's none near you, you can always order online as well. But shipping and handling for online. We're gonna finish this up, kick back, relax. Thank you for watching another episode. Hope you enjoyed this one and learned a little bit how to fillet a bluefin. If you liked it, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.